Then we can dive into the price challenges that they try to solve with all these variables, right? So how do you set prices across, for instance, if you have 10,000 SKUs, you are managing multiple countries, multiple sales channels. If you are in the B2B, you have a bunch of customer segmentations. We always say, like, look at your pricing organization and the number of price points that you want to actively manage, and how much price changes then you want to do, right? So just to give a quick example, if I have 10,000 SKUs, I'm active in 3 different countries, and I have 5 different customer groups per country. It means that I have 15 different customer groups that I serve, probably with different price lists. And if I then have like 10,000 products, it means that I'm managing 150,000 price points. Well, if I can change those prices once a quarter, for assumption, it means that we need to manage 600,000 price changes on a yearly basis. And then we look at our pricing organization and see if we are able to do that in such a way that it fits within our capabilities, but also in our governance structure to push those prices on new levels into the market. It's intense. You need to do a lot of research for it, and you have to have the operation in place, of course, and you have to know in what circumstances you are dealing that. And if you have to do the analysis across countries and then also across sales channels and customer groups, etc., then that exercise becomes quite extensive to execute. So it really helps to have systems and reasoning, for instance, with an AI engine, to support you in that decision-making process and just to speed up that process so that you can actually have as much as possible of those 600,000 price points on the active price management, instead of that it becomes, for instance, static pricing, that it is just a cost-based plus model instead of an optimized pricing approach. The second step is that we see that organizations now are challenged with maintaining the profitability, but also their growth. And as mentioned, like, now we see that the monetary policy is becoming more tight, and we see a less attractive business circumstances. It means that we have to think differently about how we go about it. So if we have tighter monetary policies, it also means that the pie is less big. So margin erosion or maybe less volume is a result of that, right? So sometimes you just have to adjust to new market circumstances, instead of that you think that you are losing business to other competitors, but you are just dealing in a different circumstances from an economy perspective. And that helps to redefine your price strategies, because if you are losing business or the market is just shrinking, in both situations, you can have a different approach across pricing, but also in your company strategy. And the third one is manual pricing with Excel limits, and that you want to do, like, say, more smart pricing strategies. So what we also see is, if you are coming from an Excel organization and you are now managing your pricing in Excel and you want to go to a more smart pricing approach, that is a trajectory and a change management that you have to go by. So it's obviously not a step that you can take in a day, but it is just a challenge people want to take. But if they take a step today, they just want to make a step that's already preparing them to make that final step of the newest developments that are going on, and maybe part of that is in AI pricing. The fourth one is that we see the race to the bottom. So besides that, we see that the economy is contracting, so that we just see less of that, the pie is shrinking, and that the pie is less big. The other one that we see is that there are also some organizations that are filled with debt, right? So and the general consensus in the market is that we see is that the trajectory of growing to infinity and beyond, that philosophy or so is more or less gone, right? So a lot of organizations now have to position themselves to be just EBITDA positive, or get just make sure that you are financially capable of running your own business, instead of being reliable additional funds and fees and investments that need to go into the business. So that also means that for the businesses that that are struggling, that they will be more aggressive with their pricing, and that's the circumstances that you are dealing with as well. So to better understand your customer segments, your products, and how you can sell your products against what price, or asking the right price to the right consumer or customer at the right time, becomes really, really important to separate yourself from the other businesses, and don't fall into the trap of, when you have a declining market, that you just are repricing all the way down, and then eventually leave out the margins and the growth of your own business, and that you just are a market participant instead of organizing your business from your own strength. And the last one, of course, is that you want to do something effective with loyalty and promotions. And this always has been a challenge to organize quite well. But it helps that AI can help you to give you some advice in what direction to search for, and that you can optimize models and run A/B tests to eventually identify what approach works best for your organization.